Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate. I am so excited to be able to be in your homes as usual. And today I am looking forward to our conversation about the market report in the Turks and Caicos Islands. But before, I definitely want to say thank you to my guest, Honorable Jamel Robinson, the Minister of Planning, Physical Planning and Development and Infrastructure. He was on the previous show and he spoke to us about, some of the new initiatives that are coming into play in his department, as well as obviously the new and anticipated housing policy that have been approved and is now being implemented. I am actually looking forward to I am looking forward to the official launch, which is supposed to take place in April. And I'm looking forward to getting more information that I can share with you about that policy. So definitely, once again, Honorable Jamel, I say thank you for the informative session that we had on Let's Talk TCI Real Estate. Okay, and to my listening audience, as usual, I want to say to you, don't forget to like and share the page. And definitely, if you know someone who is interested in the conversation we are having today, please nudge them and let them know that we are live. Let's Talk TCI Real Estate is live. So today, of course, the subject of the matter, like I've mentioned previously, is about the market report of real estate in the Turks and Caicos Islands. My disclaimer before I start, all information that I'm going to be talking about today is actually taken from the Turks and Caicos Real Estate Association, of which I am a part of. We have a really strong database with information. So I have gathered stats from this database to be able to share with you about what's happening in the market. I also want to say to you that there may be some private sales that have happened for sale by owners, or that would have happened through just directly with the government. I am not privy to those sales, so they will not be included in this market report today. But I am confident that the information that I am going to be sharing with you today is enough for you to get an idea of what is happening in the real estate market in the Turks and Caicos Islands, right? So basically, each time that I share a market report for you, I like to try and change it up just a little bit, just so that I am bringing it from a new perspective each time. And so today, even though I will be sharing with you the current state of the market for the first quarter, that is from January 2023, of course, to March 2023, which I think is very important to understand. I will also be sharing with you more of an historic, information, giving you more of a 5-year trend that is from 2018 up to 2022, so that we can get a better understanding and see where the market have come from and where it is now. So that's the basis of the report for today. And definitely, like I always say, for my next market report, if you are interested in getting additional information about some other stats, please feel free as usual to reach out to me, right? So one may ask, why are you so interested in providing market report stats? Well, first of all, the obvious reason: it helps you to understand what is actually happening in your market currently. So that's one of the things providing a market report does for all of us. Second of all, it allows buyers and sellers alike to understand and to know, really help them with what to expect if they are going to buy or if they are going to sell. The third thing I think that a market report does is that it allows existing buyers, if you have already made a purchase and have and is an owner of a property, it allows you to see exactly how your investment is doing in a way as well, and see also what are the things that can affect those investments. And then the fourth thing that I would say is really a good reason to have a market report is basically just to understand what's happening in the market. You need to know if it's a buyer's or seller's market. You need to understand what type of inventory is out there. You want to be able to understand what's the average price on the market. You need to understand all of those factors that affects, like I've said before, your real estate. So if you feel like you fit into any of those categories, then this show today is definitely for you. All right, so bear with me. The show isn't that long. If you have a comment, please put in the comment section. But we will be speaking about the current status for the quarter, and also we will talk about some historical data, and we'll see how that gets interpreted. Great. So also bear with me. I have actually a few charts that's going to be displayed. So as I look down, I'm just actually trying to take the information off of those charts and present it to you. So we're going to start first with the current state of the market. So this is the slide that I'm going to have put up as I talk to you a little bit about what's happening for the first quarter of 2023. So basically, I'm hoping you can see the slide that's put up. So basically, there were a total of 93 properties that were sold, and these properties were inclusive of homes, townhomes, and land. And there was a total sales volume of $144,732,896. So, and of these sales, the most properties that were sold were vacant land, followed by home and condos. If you look on the chart at the bar graph, that is showing, you will see for 2023, those are the bar graphs that is actually in more like a dark grayish color that is showing you the stats for 2023. And with those stats, like I've said before, you have the majority of properties that were sold were vacant land. We're going to come to why this is important in a minute, but I just want you to see of condos, homes, and land was sold the most for this quarter, right? So the other thing I want to point out about this information is that of all the sales, the highest percentage of these sales were conducted in the island of Providencia. So if you look at the pie chart that is just at the top of this report, you will see that the highest percentage of sales actually was conducted in Providenciales, followed by Grand Turk, and then North and Middle Caicos, respectively. So Providenciales actually had about 83% of the total sales that took place in this first quarter of 2023. So basically you would say, well, why is it that Providenciales has actually scored so high? And from previous years, Providenciales have also scored, being one of the islands with the highest percentage sale. Well, definitely Providenciales is where most of the activities happened and is conducted. It is also the most developed island of all. Hence, it is expected that more transactions would happen on this island where the majority of the population is. Of course, Providenciales is where all visitors, their point of entry and also the point of exit. So this is like their first stop, and so they are able to experience the island, and most times this is where they end up making a purchase, right? But I want to say that still there has been an increase in sales over on all the islands, including Grand Turk and North Caicos of recent, which is good to know. These two locations have been actually identified as an up and coming area. And these islands also have affordable real estate. So if you're looking for affordable real estate, you can definitely look on the islands of North and Middle Caicos and Grand Turk, and you'll be able to find it there. So you can see that these islands, they are picking up in terms of sales, right? But I will say to you, you need to keep an eye out for South Caicos. I remembered on my previous show, Honorable Jamal, he did mention to keep an eye out for South Caicos because the atmosphere there is actually changing, and he had mentioned that there is coming on stream where there's going to be some branding of hotels that are going to be opening in terms of, I can't remember if it's the Hyatt, the Marriott, but also some name brand hotels are going to be opening up on South Caicos. And definitely the airport is practically almost completed, and that's going to allow for commercial entry into the island. So keep an eye out for South Caicos. But definitely, like I said, the majority of sales has happened on Providencia Isles, Naxon Linus, Grand Turk, and Northern Mill Caicos. Those islands have seen an increase in sales as well for this first quarter. Okay, so if we were to compare the quarter of 2023, obviously, to the first quarter of 2022, which is the right thing to do, you would see that we can take note that overall sales in 2023 compared to 2022 has actually declined a little bit. So in 2022, there were about 146 units that were sold, whereas in 2023, there were only 91 units that were sold in the first quarter. So we are feeling a slight shift in sales, right? And I think that is also because there is still an issue with inventory in certain price range. Case in point, the average sale price for homes that were sold in this first quarter was actually around 3 million. I'm just rounding it off, roughly around $3 million as the average sale price of a home. This is a reflection on the quality of products that we have on the island. However, we still need more affordable inventory on the market for average buyers like myself. Okay, so even though we have high-end product that's on the market, we still have a shortage of inventory when it comes to more, affordable product for persons to acquire. Okay, another thing we should consider, I think that has affected sales as well. Of course, there has been an increase in interest rates over the past few months, and I think that we are now having a little bit more conscious buyers. So buyers are not just rushing in, they are thinking and factoring in the interest rates and how they have been increasing, because of course this affects their bottom line, it affects their monthly payments, it affects what they are able to borrow. Okay, on top of this, I still believe that it is a seller's market, but I think that these are some of the things that have made a change in where the market has been in 2022 to 2023. Okay, so that's what I have to say about the current trend for the first quarter of 2023, right? So now I want to take a look at the sales. Just getting my papers here. For land, condo, and homes, this is the next slide that I'm going to be showing you, right? So now that we have an idea of what has happened in the first quarter, right? What have happened in the first quarter, I wanted to, just use an opportunity to go back at least 5 years, from 2018 to 2022, so that to the end of 2022, of course, obviously, so that we can just see what has been happening in the market over that 5-year period. The first thing I want to always remind us is that in the Turks and Caicos Islands, we have several different property types, which I've been mentioning throughout this show already, right? But the main 3 categories that we continue to talk about are actually the land, condos, and homes, because this is where most of buyers' attention is actually on land, condos, and home. Of course, we have other commercial properties or multifamily properties, but land, condos, and homes are the 3 main types that we got most of our purchasers they are interested in. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, the chart will give you an idea about how these types of properties have performed over the last 5 years. You will notice that land has outperformed all property types for all of those years. When looking at that chart for the land, you will notice that it's color coded, of course, and you will see at the top of the chart where, 2018 is identified definitely by the lighter blue, 2019 is follows with the gold, and so forth. So if we see all the land parcels that are grouped together, you will be able to see that there was a significant amount of land parcels that actually was sold from 2018 to 2022, outnumbering condos and townhomes for that same period of time, right? So one of the reasons for this is because most times by purchasing land, it allows a buyer obviously to get into the market at a lower price point, hence making it more affordable to a larger cross section of individuals. Definitely, if you have a lower price point, you can reach a larger audience. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that land has outperformed condos and townhomes from 2018, obviously up to 2022. Another reason is that I feel like there are not many affordable homes at entry level price. Therefore, it is more enticing to purchase a piece of land and build, at the current pace of the owner. So if you don't have an affordable home that you can move into, and this was a perfect example when I spoke to you earlier about the average sale price in the this first quarter of homes, that average sale price of homes were at $3 million. So if $3 million is your average sale price, that tells you that there aren't that many more affordable homes below even at $1 million that may be affordable to purchasers. Therefore, again, because of that, you have more people steering towards buying land and then building at the pace in which they can afford to do so. A third reason I feel is that this island is still attractive to investors, and you have a number of developers who are purchasing land actually to fill this gap of affordable homes, right, on islands, and also for rental purposes. Our country is a destination that is attractive for short-term vacation rental properties, and of recent we've had a number of those properties that have come on the market, and therefore developers have been seeking parcels of land in order to be able to do these kinds of projects. All right. So with all of these three things that I've mentioned, I feel like these are three of the reasons why that land purchases have been definitely high in the Turks and Caicos and have outdone the homes and condo market. All right. So I just want to pause again just to let you know, if you've tuned in, I am speaking today. I like to say we because I'm hoping that you are having a conversation with me, even though I can't hear you, but I am always talking to you and hoping you can be with me, but about real estate in the Turks and Caicos Island, and more specifically, the real estate market report in the Turks and Caicos Islands. So that's what the conversation is definitely about today, right? So we continue with this same chart that we're looking at. We want to say, when we look at the homes and condos, you would notice, yes, I'm looking down because I'm also looking at the chart, like I said. When we look at the homes and condos, you would also notice that in 2019 and 2020, homes were outperforming the condo market. So that's in 2019 and 2020, homes were outperforming the condo market, right? One of the main reasons why persons, especially in 2022, that the homes were outperforming condos, especially in 2022. Of course, we all know this was the time during the pandemic, COVID-19, right? And a lot of persons were interested in safety and their security, and they didn't really understand about COVID-19 at the time. Therefore, persons wanted to be isolated from the bigger groups, and a lot more people felt comfortable in the homes versus the condo developments. So because of this, because they didn't want to share the common facilities, because of this, you had a lot more persons who were actually, purchasing homes versus purchasing condos where they had to be in a shared facility, okay? Also, the average buyer was waiting to see actually what was headed for the market before making that decision. Remember, our buyers are international buyers from the US, Canada, and thereabout. And their investments are normally second and third home properties. Therefore, while such a time was happening worldwide, for them, they wanted to ensure that they were more conscious about the investment they were making, because they wanted to know exactly what was going to happen with the market at the time. So therefore, at the same time, like I say, more homes were being purchased by persons who felt more secure, who wanted to be able to be isolated. They were able to work from home. They did all of that, and compare to the condos, right? Just waiting for the timing to be right. Okay? Then in 2021 and 2022, when persons were more adaptable to COVID, you can see from the chart that the condo market obviously picked up. Also at this time, finding more affordable properties, while the average cost of owning a home was way higher than a condo. Yeah, so after, like I said, after understanding what was happening in the condo market after the pandemic, persons felt more comfortable and they began purchasing condos again. Of course, like I say, they were more comfortable. And at that time, the condo market began to pick up. But like I said, one of the main other reasons is that condos were still more affordable. When you can find a studio unit or one bedroom unit, probably in the price range of $300,000 to $700,000, that's more affordable for the average buyer like myself. And so then you saw that the condo market began to pick up, right? So in addition to this, the inventory level is still low and difficult to find properties below $1 million to fit buyer's requirement. That will actually give a return on their investment. So you could see where trend of homes, so you could see where over the period of time from 2018 to 2022, you could see where, of course, land actually had the most sales. Then afterwards, at a period of time from 2019 2020, you had more homes that were being sold, but then there was a shift in 2022 where more condos were being sold. So it all depends on what was happening in the market. Okay, so now I want to show you one last chart. So one last chart just talking about the total sales. Okay, so even though I have actually separated it into land, condos, homes, because these are the three types of properties that persons actually focus on, I just wanted to be able to do the total sales all combined, just to show you a graph to see how the market was doing. Was the market declining? Was the market going up in terms of sales? So the chart that I'm showing you now, there are two charts. So the one line graphs, one at the top and one at the bottom. The one at the top actually just shows the total properties that have sold in terms of units. So you will be able to see in 2028 there were 348 units sold. 2029 351. You can see the increase. 2020 324. It just decreased just a little bit. Of course, we know that's when we were full during with the pandemic time, but still I think that's still a great number during that period of time. And 2021 588 units sold. That was a significant increase. We're going up. And in 2022 it was 543 units, so just a slight decrease. Okay, and then if we just look at it from a standpoint of volume, like sales volume in terms of numbers, so you could see where the amount of properties sold, the values from 2028 started from roughly 255, I'm just rounding it off, $1 million, and up to 2022, you can see that the value of properties was up to $544 million in terms of sales values, right? So basically, this is showing you that properties that have sold in 2018 to 2021, that's increased year over year. So there is an increase year over year. right? In unit count and in sales volume. You will see 2021, there was a significant increase because to 588 units, like I said, which was equivalent to a volume of 749,790,671 dollars, right? But in 2022, you could see that there is a little decrease from 2021 to 2022, but I still believe it is still showing a strong market. So the market just went continue going up from 2018 to 2019 to 2020 to 2021. And when it reached 2022, it just tilted just a little bit, but I still feel like the market is strong because we are still up there in the high numbers in terms of unit sales and volumes. And I do believe that if we had more affordable inventory on the market, I think we would have still been as high as the numbers would have been just as high in 2021 and 2022, right? So if you are considering buying in the Turks and Caicos Islands, I believe the economy of the country as well as the real estate market is still a strong one, and it's still a good place to invest, right? So I hope that this information was of some use or importance to you. And like I've said before, there's a lot of data that I have pulled, but it can be interpreted and it can be configured based on what you are looking for. The next time we do the market report, we'll change it up a little bit. But today I felt like it was good to know what's happening for this first quarter, and also just give some stats on what have happened over the last 5 years. Someone who was looking at the investment, they will be able to say, hey, you know what? Prices have increased in value, and so I have made a great return on my investment. They will be able to look at those charts and say there are still investors confident in the Turks and Caicos Islands. They will look at those charts and say this is still an attractive destination because prices are only going up and properties are being sold, right? But one thing I would like to say to you, if you do have a property, your market valuation can be done specifically to your property so that you can understand the market conditions around where your property is situated. For example, if you have a property in North Caicos, even though this is a general market report, we can bring it even closer to your property type and location by providing something specific so you can see what's happening in the market of North Caicos, what has happened in the last 5 years in North Caicos, what is happening in the first quarter in North Caicos, what is actually happening in that very location in North Caicos. So that's how specific we can get to be able to allow you to understand the market trend surrounding your property. If that's something you're interested in, you can always reach out to me. And definitely, one last time I will say, if there is something you would like for me to speak about in terms of market statistics that you want to learn more about or know more about, please feel free at any time to reach out to me. Of course, that's v.delancey@kw.tc. I'll be more than happy to help. Other than that, stay tuned for when I present the next market report for you sometime later in the air, as we can get a better picture of what has happened from the first quarter down to the end, to the last quarter of the year. So with that said, it's always a pleasure to be in your home on a Thursday. Thank you definitely for listening. Please continue to share this segment of Let's Talk TCI Real Estate, and always have a great weekend, stay safe, and remain blessed. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this show belong solely to Let's Talk TCI Real Estate and not that of Keller Williams TCI or any of its affiliates. Any action you take upon the information provided on this show is strictly at your own risk, and Let's Talk TCI Real Estate guest or host will not be liable for any losses and damages in connection with the use of the material. I am not an investment advisor, broker, or dealer.